Here are my top 5 reasons why I would always invest in a franchise, and my top 5 reasons why I would never invest in a franchise. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. So, my name is Kim Daly. I'm a franchise consultant, and I've invested the last 20 years of my life helping amazing people just like you say yes to their dreams to own a franchise business by aligning their background, interests, skills, finances, and life goals to some of the best franchise opportunities out there today. Now, if you get inspired and you want to work with Kim Daly to find the perfect franchise for your future, I want to be your franchise consultant. So stay with me until the end of the video and I will share how I can help you. Okay, so let's dive into the top 5 reasons why I would always invest in a franchise. And then we'll get to my top 5 why I would never invest in a franchise. So, the first and most important reason I would always pick the franchise is if I found people who I fell madly in love with. So, franchising is always about people. If you want to be an entrepreneur, go be an entrepreneur out on your own island. But franchisepreneurs, we are collaborative. We work together. We are in partnership. There's a very cliched expression in franchising. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So, the very nature of what we're doing is buying a relationship. I want to love the people. I want to not just want to be in business with them, I want to be friends with them because owning a business is a long-term proposition. These are people I want to be partnered with for the long haul, at least the next 5 years, maybe longer. In my case, I've been a part of Franchise now for 23 years. Like, who knew back in 2002 this would have gone the way that it went? But you know why it did? The number one reason is because of the amazing people that I got to meet and work with over the last 23 years as a franchise consultant here at Franchise. People, people, people. It's number one. If you're exploring a franchise and you found people you love, put that as check number one. The second reason I would always invest in the franchise is if I could more than comfortably afford the investment. So, if you've spent any amount of time here on Kim Daly TV, you've heard me say the number one reason a business will fail is because you run out of money. So, don't let that happen. Invest in a business not emotionally because you're so in love with it. Invest in a business that you can more than comfortably afford. At the end of the day, a business isn't a hobby, it's not a passion. You don't have to be in love with the widget. That's not going to be on my top 5 things, okay? But you do have to be in love with the people. That's number one. And you do have to be able to more than comfortably afford. What does that mean? It means you afford the investment, you afford your living expenses, and you have a cushion. Why? Because when you open your bank account, you need to see that cushion. You may never need to touch it, but in your nervous system, you need to see it. Feeling scarcity or lack of any kind will only attract to you more reasons to feel scarcity and lack. By having that little pot of gold sitting in your bank account that just gives you comfort that come a rainy day, we have a little bit of extra money. That's what's going to keep you calm, keep your energy high and motivated, and you feeling abundant. And when you execute from a place of abundance, baby, that's when you create abundance. So you need to be able to more than comfortably afford the investment. The third reason I would always invest in the franchise is if I can play one of the key roles to owning a business. Now, listen carefully to this one. I've interviewed thousands, probably tens of thousands of people over 23 years who wanted to own a franchise. So I ask everybody, okay, what role do you want to play? Almost everybody says, I don't want to sell anything. I want to be the CEO. Okay, I get it. We all want the dream, but you got to build it. So there are 2 key roles to running a business. Customer acquisition, so business development, that's going to be cold calling, prospecting, networking, marketing, brand ambassadorship, promotion, anything that involves driving customers to your business. That is essential. It's number one. It's the thing that will make you the richest fastest, and it's the thing that will make you bankrupt the fastest. So, sales. Okay. The second one is HR, hiring, training, leading, culture building, managing. So, if you don't want to be the salesperson, you need to be able to hire, lead, manage the salesperson and or maybe servicing teams, people who go out and sell or deliver on what was sold. Okay? These are the primary skills of running a business, finding customers and then managing those customers through sales and through people who deliver on what was sold. So, if you want to own a franchise business, you need to be able to be proficient in one of these and have the desire to grow personally and professionally and learn the other skill. I'm not saying you have to be the master of it. I'm not saying you have to do one or both for the life of your business. But if you want to be confident, if you want to feel like you can control your business, you need to be able to do one or the other. Because here's the thing, I know you want to be the CEO, but there's no business to be the CEO of if you don't have customers and you don't have teams of people to work with those customers or sell to those customers. So I'm just giving it to you real. So the third reason I would always invest in the franchise is if I had at least one of these two skills, you don't need both, but you at least need one and the ability to learn the other. The fourth reason I would always invest in the franchise is because the other franchisees tell me happy stories. I don't mean financial stories. I don't give a care what anybody else is making in any franchise. It's totally irrelevant to what I'm going to make, and it's totally irrelevant to what you're going to make. I know that's a bold statement, and you're out there thinking, why is she saying that? Well, when you work with me, I'll help you understand how to own it and put this business like putty in the palm of your hands. I already know what that means because I've been doing this for 23 years. And this is a video about when I would always invest in the franchise. So, what I'm saying is, if I met happy franchisees, people who, knowing what they know now, they would 100% do it again. They're coming back and investing in multiple territories, multiple locations. They feel well trained and well supported. When they need help, somebody is there to help them in a timely fashion. This is what would matter the most to me. Why doesn't money matter? Not for this video, but I will talk you through that on another video and in a one-on-one consultation. I want to find happy people. These people are going to be my friends as much as the franchisor is. The culture that the franchise has created is palpable and you want to fit in. You want to be immersed in a community of people that you feel empowered by, that you can lean into, people who have what you want and that inspires you. And you can saddle up next to them and trail them until you can surpass them. And then there'll be somebody saddling up next to you. That's the progression of a franchise. So this whole franchisepreneurship, it's all about finding your people. First the franchisor, and then validating with that crazy family of franchisees to make sure that by and large, the kind of people that are investing in this franchise feel like you, they're friendly to you, they're people that you could role model, they're people that you could learn from. Never forget the expression, rising tides raise all ships. So we want to burn our boats from corporate America and we want to raise our ships. So let's find people who we can saddle up next to, learn from, grow next to, and be with on this fun journey called franchisepreneurship. And the fifth reason I would always invest in the franchise is because after going through the due diligence process, when I think about the goals that I have for being a business owner and the future vision of what I want for my life, I can connect all of the dots. When I see the connection between what I want, not what I'm passionate about, but what I want personally, professionally, and financially, and I can align the business characteristics, the role that I'll play, the lifestyle I'll have, the people I get to create jobs for, the customers I'll be interacting with, the environment that I walk into, how I dress when I go to work, where I go to work and call my work. When all of those things align with the person that I see myself being and thriving as, that's the ultimate. that's when I would always say yes to the franchise. So let's talk about the 5 reasons when I would never invest in a franchise. Are you ready for it? Get ready for it. Number one, because I don't find people that I align with. And when I'm talking to the franchisor, they're just not my kind of people. I don't feel like I would fit in. Their cultural values or morals don't align with mine. When we get together on the phone, I feel a little antagonistic. There just isn't any jiving going on. If I'm not jiving now, what do you think is going to happen once I give him my money? That's just going to intensify that feeling. So if I don't find synergy with the people, then I'm never going to invest in the franchise. Okay. The second reason I'm never going to invest in a franchise is, drum roll please, because I can't comfortably afford the investment. Obviously, being able to afford the investment is a really big deal. I am not going to put myself in a position where I feel any lack in my nervous system. Why? Well, I'm a mindset coach and I understand how the universe actually works. So the universe is nothing more than a mirror giving back a reflection of what I'm sending out. So if I'm sending out fear, doubt, unworthiness, not enough, then the universe is not punishing me. It is mirroring me. And it sends back so many more reasons for me to feel all those bad emotions. So I want to come from a place of abundance. I want to feel passionate. I want to feel energized. I want to feel in control. And so that means I need money to invest, money to live off of, and a pot of gold sitting in my bank account. So when I log on, I can see that little safety net and go, okay, I'm good for a rainy day. The third reason I would never invest in the franchise is I don't have the primary skills or the desire to learn the skills to feel in control of this business. Look, I'm going to say it like this. Sales is what owning a business is all about. If you're thinking about owning a business and you have a total aversion to anything around the word sales, listen, I don't think you should own a business, or you should go take a sales job first or take a course in sales. You've got to figure out in your mindset your belief around sales before you come to business ownership. Because if you're tripping over selling people things, how are you going to run a business? Business ownership is all about somebody buying your product or service. Now, here's the thing. I've been in, quote, sales, if you will, for 23 years as a franchise consultant, but I don't look at myself as selling anything. I'm helping you. So if I was selling you, you would totally smell it. I'm not here to push everybody I meet into franchising. I'm not here to sell you on anything in a franchise. If anything, I'm selling the outcome of a franchise, which is freedom and passion and control and all the things I live because I'm a franchisee. But I'm not selling. So sometimes it's just getting inside the role of a business and saying to myself, do I believe that I could feel comfortable promoting that product or promoting that service? I see how I could position that to the right customer and they would find value. And then it's just going out and perfecting the art of talking to people and helping them. So when they have objections, you figure out how to help them get through those objections, or you move on to the next person and say, that person just wasn't my client avatar, right? So the word sales is what trips most people up. But going back to number 3, if I didn't have either a sales proficiency or a management leadership style that I was ready to deploy into my own business, I would not be investing in a business. Again, you're not a CEO until you can run a sales operation and you can manage the people who are either selling or delivering on what was sold. So there's the honest truth on that. The fourth reason I would never invest in the franchise is if I'm talking to franchise owners and more than half of the people that I engage with are miserable. If the other people who've already invested their money in the franchise, they're not happy, they're not telling a good story, they don't feel well supported, they wish they were better trained, why would I want to step in and give my money? I'd feel sorry for those people, but I'd be like, look, I'm not doing it. So if you're working with Kim Daly, more than likely you're not going to bump into a bunch of franchisees who feel that way. There's always one or two, no matter how great a franchisor is, because franchisors aren't perfect and because you can't please everybody. But if more than half of the people you're talking to are saying the same consistent themes and they're negative toward the franchisor, to me, that would be a red flag. There's plenty of opportunity out there. And so why try to make something right when there's other options? The reason people might do that, though, is because they're so in love with the widget that they're trying to put on the rose colored glasses for all the other thing because they want to bring that widget to market as if that product or service is the reason that they're going to be successful. And nothing could be further from the truth because owners make businesses successful, widgets do not. And the fifth reason I would never invest in the franchise is because I just don't have any confidence that I could bring me to the business and the me that I am today could add value to this business in my community. As the leader of this company, as the creator of the reality of this business in my local market, I need to be able to feel like I have something to contribute. Now, I'm not bringing the idea, I'm not bringing the processes, I'm not bringing the tools, I'm not bringing the marketing, I'm not finding the location necessarily. All of these things are being provided for me by the franchisor, but that doesn't mean that I don't bring anything. I'm really bringing the juice that makes the whole thing squeeze. So remember, a franchise is a vehicle that can drive your life personally, professionally, and financially to a new place. But what is the gas in that vehicle? The gas is the clarity of my goals and dreams. You, as the owner, are the powerful engine that makes this franchise vehicle go. And that's what you're bringing. So if I'm looking at a business model, interacting with all the people, looking at the tools, and thinking, I just don't know what I would bring to this, I can't see this for myself, then I would absolutely not try to put a square peg in a round hole. I would walk away and never invest in that franchise. So there you have it. My top 5 reasons why I would always invest, and my top 5 reasons why I would never invest. And if you haven't figured it out by now, my top 5 reasons for not investing are the exact opposite for the reasons I would invest. So there's your 10-second synopsis of this entire video. Well, if you enjoy my personality and you believe that I can help you go on to live the life that you want as a business owner, I really want to be your franchise consultant and your daily coach. There's a link in the description below, and I'm going to ask you to follow it right now. I personally will follow up with you as quickly as I can so we can open up a conversation and start talking about the life that right now you're only dreaming about. And with a little bit of luck and a little bit of time, you're not just going to be talking about the dream, but with Kim Daly, my hope is that you can one day be living the dream. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next one.